Hi everyone, this is Liz from Creative Life of Liz, and I'm here doing the setup for April 21st through the 27th. This is in my B&R Papercraft Pamby Planner. So for this week, over the weekend, we are going to spend a little time in Cincinnati. They have a very good zoo, so we plan to visit the zoo. So I'm using this kit from B&R Papercrafts called The Lion King. Obviously, it's themed after Lion King, the movie, but I feel like it also fits with zoo kinds of things. I might try to spread out which animals I include, things like that. But this particular deluxe kit, it is on matte vinyl. This is the full boxes. Here is the bottom washi. And then the colors you can see are very Lion King the movie. Boxes with glitter, boxes without glitter. Sorry, my cat's trying to join us. Some functional things, 4 more full boxes, and a bunch of icons, more functional stuff, and then glitter headers, and 4 more full boxes. So I am going to have tons of things to use. My plan, I think, is to use the 3 not brown glitter headers as the ones that I use. I feel like scattering is just so much more work than running them through the middle. So I think I'm just gonna run them through the middle like I frequently do. So that means I think I'm gonna do it as like red, yellow, and then green on the bottom, I think is the order it's gonna be in. I also have my date dots, my date covers, and bottom washi. So I'm gonna stick all that stuff down. Sorry, you can see my cat trying to join in for today. Anyway, sorry, he's joining in. Anyway, I'm gonna put all this stuff down if I can find them. I have my Beauty 360 tweezers from CVS from 100 years ago. So I am going to put all this stuff down, and then I will be back so that we can do the interesting bits. All right, here is where we're at so far with the pre-planning. Obviously looking cute for here. So let's see, I have these 4 full boxes. I have these 4 full boxes, and then I have these 9. So I've got a ton to work with. Obviously not going to use them all for this setup. I think I want to stick with less grumpy, so I don't think I'm going to use like this one, for example, and I'm going to skip this one because it's the bottom washi. There are 2 of each of these in this kit, so I'm going to use one of them of each of those to make sure that those get used and make the kit good for both rounds, for example, to maximize that. I do feel like this one goes with this one, so maybe I will use both of those for this round. And then let's see, I have 2 giraffes. I have a couple of lions. I don't want to use lions that end up like looking the same too much. Yeah, let's see, maybe this one. All right, we're gonna figure it out. I think I'm gonna use this one as my quote box because it kind of goes onto the page well. I don't like it when the contents of the full box kind of lead the eye off of the page. All right, that is not straight. And it is like noticeably not straight. Okay, that looks a lot better. And then what do I want to use as like my center box then? Maybe I'll use this one. All right, so there's that. And then I think I'm going to use two, oh, I don't want to put the giraffes next because I feel like they're kind of looking both ways. Okay, I'm going to put in the giraffes here on Saturday and on Tuesday. And then we have this lion out here. So maybe I'll use the wildebeest to go into the page on this side because they're kind of like similar color palette. And then I think I'm going to use the two sunsets. There's one. And then here's the other one. All right, no idea how terrible it's gonna make whatever I left behind for when I use this kit again, but we're gonna make it work. In the meantime, I think it's looking gorgeous. Moving on to the daily plans, starting with the sidebar. I'm gonna start with the this week, as usual, there. And then I think I'm gonna stick in just a single habit tracker, which I'm stretching everything out because I think I have space. And then from the icons, I'm gonna use the Instagram. This is gonna mark socials, so it'll also include Blue Sky, but we don't have an icon for that. So I think that will work. Let's see, then I have this weekly, and I have this header. Oh, it bothers me that the meals are gonna go right next. It's gonna be like yellow and then yellow. I think I'm gonna actually stick in this little box then, kind of early, rather than trying to line it up with the bottom washi. I'm gonna stick it in here. And then I'm gonna stick in the meals header. There we go. And then the daily box, like so. And then that leaves this little space down here, which will fit. Do I want the kind with glitter or the kind without glitter? I think I'm gonna do the kind with glitter. And I think I'm gonna use the green. All right, there we go. That covers the sidebar and I think it looks pretty cute. Moving on to the daily plans. I am gonna use these guys for marking work each day. I put the headers like above the box, so I do have like a little more space than I sometimes do. But I think that's gonna be nice to not have to like squish in any of my plans. This is not straight. Okay, that's close enough. I did my best. There we go. And then this one will be used on the other side along with another one. It'll be fine. Next up, I need some icons, and I think I'll use one of these guys. Maybe, let's see what color these are. So I think I'm gonna use the little planner for my plan with me. The other thing that's gonna post this week is my book bujo setup. So maybe I'll actually use that for that. So then I'm gonna use this little reel for the plan with me. I was gonna use a brown box, but I feel like it should not match. So I'm gonna use yellow. There we go. That is all I have planned for, oh, Monday we have in the evening. It's gonna take a couple hours, so I feel like I should use a moderately wide box. I know work obviously takes up a lot more hours, but that's boring, so I'm not gonna let it take up that much space. Maybe I'll use the red one. So we have our curling annual meeting on this evening. I'm going to use the alarm clock for that because it has a schedule. All right, moving on to Tuesday. I have nothing planned for Tuesday or honestly Wednesday beyond work. So I'm going to move on to the second half of the week. I am going to use this one, which finishes this page. So that's one thing I don't have to store, which is always nice. There we go. And before I forget, I'm going to find the little skinny guy here, and I'm going to use the green one, I think, for Friday. There we go. Otherwise, Thursday, nothing is planned. And then Friday, I have too many sheets right now. Okay. So I have the little book planner guy. I think I'm going to use the red one. Gotta put that in. That'll be my Book Bujo setup, reading journal setup going up. By the time you see this, that will already be up. And then Saturday, the first thing in the morning, we are flying to Cincinnati. So that takes a few hours, essentially. What do I want to use? I can use this guy because I have to get up extremely early. Sure, why not? Let's do that. I'm gonna use a brown box because I haven't used a lot of those. And I'm gonna put it in like so. And then I'm gonna use the little moon and stars because we're gonna get up before the sun is up. I think our flight leaves at 6. So that covers that. Saturday and Sunday, we have a few things we want to do, but I'm not exactly sure when they're happening, what order they're happening in, anything like that. It's really kind of weather dependent. So I'm just going to leave it as is for now. So this is what the pre-planning looks like. Stick around for just a second and you can see the finished spread. All right, here is the spread. Lighting is mediocre. It's just very weird out right now, but it's fine. The spread turned out super cute, and I do really like all of the kind of bright colors, the zoo theme because it's Lion King. I have a lot left over. Obviously, this is a deluxe kit, so all of this stuff, some boxes, more boxes, even more boxes, some functional things. This page is done, so I'm going to get rid of it. 2 more boxes and some more glitter headers, and then 5 more full boxes here. So a ton left in this kit. So definitely enough to use it again in the future, perhaps next year. So I'm going to throw this in my leftovers. But that being said, I really just used things from the kit during this week, all the way across the board. It was overall a pretty good week, kind of busy and getting some things done over here. I signed up for Kindle Unlimited again. I find it's a really good way to test out new indie authors to see if they're for me and I want to buy their books and all that kind of stuff. So if you have any recommendations for KU reads that you think I should really read, please put them down below. I would love to hear about them. I always want suggestions to make sure that I'm not just reading, you know, the top books that are most popular. I want to read the ones that are actually the best. And then over the weekend, we did go to Cincinnati. So that was a really good weekend. We spent some time at the zoo and the National Air Force Museum, amongst a few other things. But all in all, that's all I really have for today. So as always, please like and subscribe below if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. It helps me out. Let me know how your week went down below, or if you don't have anything that you want to leave me some sort of animal emoji just to say hi. I would love to hear from you. And then follow me on Instagram and Blue Sky at Creative Life of Liz. I show in progress and finished spreads. I tag the shops on Instagram. I mention them as part of my alt text on the photos, along with an actual description on Blue Sky, as well as show you bits and pieces of my life, what I'm reading, all that good stuff. And until next time, bye.